SNN Street News Now.
And welcome to the last show of the year. Can you believe this year is done? We can stick a fork in it now. And let me tell you something, folks. 12 o'clock, and I'm on the West Coast. Can't come fast enough. Lord have mercy, I'm so sick of this year. My life was all set up, ready to go. And the first 2 months, almost the first 3 months of the year was looking really good. And then that crazy ass girl, I hate to even call her name. She came into our lives, and Lord have mercy. Whew, did she bring havoc or what? COVID-19. She acted like she was about 65. I don't know about that 19. But anyway, at least the four of us have survived it. Welcome, guys, to the last show of the year. Thursday Night Live, ain't no jive. We chopping it up, wrapping it up. For real, for real. Reggie, how you feel?
Man, this is wonderful. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me here. I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. And I echo and the same sentiments. I can't wait to till 2020 by. I get a chance to do it 3 hours before you do it. So I'm going to do it when I do it, and then I'm going to do it again when you do it.
You're just looking for an excuse to get fucked up. Well, I'll drink to that, my friend. Absolutely. Let's all take a drink to what he said.
Yes. Absolutely.
Wait a minute. Ron, what are you drinking, man? You got a mason jar.
Yeah.
That must be some home brew.
Special brew.
Yeah. You made it in the back.
Yes.
With that
I'm scared of you.
Yes.
I'm drinking some of that stuff you get from the store.
Yes.
I'm doing the champagne tonight. That's it. That's all I'm going to do.
There you go.
Yep. So you feeling good, Ron? Dr. Ron?
Man, I am still alive, and that's my testimony. I'm sticking to it.
Amen.
2020 has been brutal to a lot of people and a lot of families. And the fact that I'm still hanging in here, and I'm going to say Happy New Year, because on the other side of the world, it's already New Year's. And
that's true.
Our homeland, it's already 2021. So I'm shouting hallelujah already for Happy New Year. That's what's up. And as the professor would say, I get to do it all over again in 4 more time zones. That's what's up.
Chris, I don't know if you can beat any of that, but have at it.
I can't beat that.
Wait a minute. We got to drink to what Dr. Ron just said.
Hey.
All right, let's keep drinking. All right.
Yeah, we can't slight him in any way.
No, not at all.
Man, I'm going to have to fill up my glass. Y'all messing up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Chris.
I tell you, I feel great. We're saying goodbye to 2020, obviously, move on to 2021. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I had a cigar in my hand for 2 reasons. We're leaving 2020 and going to a new year.
Right.
But the main reason is because on Christmas Day, I found out that my youngest daughter, Mattia, and her husband, Edward, are pregnant. And I feel
they having twins?
They just having one, as far as I know. That's good enough. So they're having their first child. I'm going to be a grandfather for the very first time, and that is the best news I've had in 2020.
That's great, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When is the baby due?
I don't know, as long as they get here healthy.
Yes.
I hear you.
Salute.
Yep, let's drink to that. That's a good one.
There you go. Good. That's great news.
Well, I've been a grandpa for a while.
Yeah, it don't
My
hurt.
oldest granddaughter is, I think, 19 now.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it don't hurt. I told him that early on. It don't hurt. Being a grandfather don't hurt,
Well, not initially. But
no, not initially, but it hurts now.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Especially after you have three,
I
four,
can't
five.
see nobody now.
Right.
I can't see nobody now. I can't.
Right.
I can't share. So that hurts.
Okay.
That hurts. But other than that hurts.
And
So
it hurts financially a little bit later after they grow up and start calling you whatever you're going to have them call you. Mine call me Poppy. And they know all they got to do is say Poppy, and I just give them the card.
You get melted down, huh?
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Stick a fork at me.
You know,
So,
one of the traditions in Africa, I think maybe we might have to learn it, but I'm gonna just throw this out there. The children were actually raised by the grandparents. The children were actually raised by the grandparents, strictly for the wisdom to be transferred. See, because the parents had to work and provide. And so we have a habit here in this country of with some of the elders in some communities of pushing them off to the side.
Yeah, we do have that's a real bad part of our culture here in America, and I think too, and it probably varies depending on your ethnic background. But I think the elders are not held up like in some cultures in some parts of the country in certain ways. You know, once you get past a certain age, and it looks like it's getting lower and lower because grandfathers and grandmothers are now 40 years old.
Right.
Sometimes earlier. So once upon a time, when you hit 70, 75, you were like an elder, you know, but now it's real different. But, you know, the world changes all the time.
Yeah.
We never know what the final outcome is going to be. Just like this year. I mean, who knew we would have experienced a pandemic that's at least, well, you know, I'm saying it's over a year old because I knew something was happening in October of 19.
Right.
Now, the first inkling we got publicly was in January and February. So if you go back to January, it's already we're looking at a year, 12 months now.
Yeah.
So the world, not just here in America, but we've been doing a real shabby job here in America, I think, for as smart and as powerful and as rich as we allegedly are, or supposed to be, and all of the intelligence that we have and the technology. I don't think we should be losing 3,000 people a day and 180, 190 new infections detected today per day now. It's like, damn. And for our government to not take this thing really serious and making it priority number one, just I'm pissed off is what I am. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to hold back. I'm very upset, disappointed, and mad as hell. And I'm going to say it this way. I'm mad at both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yes.
Too much politics has gone into trying to get help, financial help, medical help for the people in America. And it should stop. It should have stopped 6 months ago. At least. And if we don't get that straight right now, and I'm praying that the new administration is going to take it very, very serious, make that priority number one, and get this country back on its feet. And I'm sick and tired of hearing these goddamn Republicans. I'm sorry, I'm pissed. I'm sick and tired of hearing these Republicans talk about we need to get people back to work. They need to go back to work. We shouldn't be giving them any more money. Hey, you know what? When your monkey ass is sitting there in Washington, D.C. among the elite, and Mitch McConnell is the fifth richest senator right now, number 5, he's in the top 5 in terms of wealth. And I don't know if that includes his wife's income, who is the Secretary of Transportation. No, I am not a Mitch McConnell fan, never have been, never will be, because he is a self-serving piece of shit just like Trump. And excuse my language, y'all, but I've been drinking and I don't give a damn.
Amen.
Amen and amen.
So there you go.
Right.
Hey, look, wait a minute. You did say this was a recap show of 2020.
Yeah,
I'm all in with that one, brother. Look,
I'm gonna put a fork in it. It's done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to end my little rant, I'll say this. If Mitch McConnell and his cronies in the Senate don't get some money to the American people ASAP, I will move to Kentucky and walk the streets, knock on doors, and do whatever I have to do to wake up these deadbeat people in Kentucky and get them to understand that this man does not have your best interests at heart. And if you're living below the poverty line, if you're living in one of those shotgun houses with a blue tarp on your roof, if you've not had a job all year long and maybe not even the last 4 or 5 years, and you keep voting for this punk, what has he done for you? What has Mitch McConnell done for the state of Kentucky, for the people? Whenever I go through Kentucky, I just keep rolling. I don't want to stop. There's nothing there that is of interest to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I will move there to bring in at least one more vote.
Amen.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious about that.
Yeah.
So,
well,
okay, I'm gonna stop my rant.
Well, that's a legitimate feeling, brother. Your voice speaks volume to many people in the in the United States. One of the things that this asshole, and I'm gonna mimic you by saying I'm going hard too. This asshole stood up there and said we don't want to see the rich Democratic friends of the government get any additional money. And they did a loop on that, right? I don't want to see the Democratic friends get rich friends get any more money. So they had a loop going on social media with him saying that over and over and over again. Now, he did not at any time acknowledge the poor people of this country that are in food lines on Christmas Day, trying to find food to, feed their family on Christmas Day. Okay.
That's a shame. America.
Yeah.
In 2020.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. And I think I'm the oldest in the bunch here.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Shut up. You're lucky you're in Chicago. I'll come out there and smack the taste out your mouth. When you wake up, it'll be a new year.
My.
Wait, look, you can't even agree with the man without making it upset.
That was a low blow. Hell no.
Well, I'm upset too.
Oh.
But okay, have you guys ever seen on New Year's Eve nobody in Times Square except the drunks?
Nobody.
Man.
Well,
look,
that's
they're not
how bad
allowed.
it is, man.
They're not allowed. Yeah.
Right. And rightfully so.
Right.
People shouldn't be out there risking their lives.
Yeah.
Just to get drunk and say Happy New Year and get a kiss in the streets. And I've done that 2 or 3 times myself. But ain't no way in hell I'd do it now. No way.
Yeah.
So
If I was 25 years old, I wouldn't do it.
So as Lee, the legend, and as Dr. Ron have put the thumbs down, I'm going to add another thumbs down. I'm going to put it in there. And but I'm not going to blame it so much. I don't even want to call the dude's name because when you start speaking people's name, you give power to that name. So I want to start getting away from that and then start asking us, okay, so we mad now. What are we going to do about it? So, term limits, dude, you can't be in there that long no more. We get some kind of way. We got to get that to the table, because what you doing after you've been in there so long, you become an obstructionist. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. We got to be some of the stupidest people on the planet.
No, ain't no question about it.
That allow our people to just do us like that.
Mm-hmm.
To do us like that. We're being done. We are being done. And everything that this person stands for and what they're first of all he's doing is standing for green and not acknowledging anything black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He's standing for all green. Anything that's going to enrich his pockets, he's going to deal with. But anything that's black like that, he's going to ignore it. Because like everyone else has said, how in the world can you abandon people in lines trying to get food?
It's crazy, man. Down in Texas, they're like 5-7 lines wide going into venues to get some food. That's great. But look who we have in here.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, guys.
My. The full body frequency. Look. Child on punishment. Laura Rice, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to drink to that. Laura Rice. Hey.
Laura. Oh, well, let me go ahead on and get me a drink, too.
I ain't drinking the shit.
See, there's always got to be one.
I ain't drinking
There she go.
Hell no.
And you say, hey.
Hell no. Y'all go and drink if you want to. I ain't drinking the shit.
Oh, man.
Now, when it comes to her, hell no.
As the legend Marvin Gaye would say, what is going on?
Not a darn thing.
Oh,
nothing. I'm going to let everybody enjoy themselves. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Salami and bacon. Go on and do your thing. You want to introduce her? Go right ahead. I'm going to be peaceful. I said my piece. It's not start anything. So there we go.
Now wait a minute, Bass. Let me just say this, man. If it were not for you, the boom shakalaka, I would not even know Miss Rice. So how you gonna be like that, man, on the last day of the year, man?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on, let bygones be bygones.
I owe Dr. Ron an apology.
Terrible.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was a wrong night for you to come in here.
Damn right.
So, Laura, what's on your mind? Come on, we're all like, we 100 tonight.
Well, of
not
course,
99, 100.
Yes.
Georgia's on my mind. You all may have already spoken about Georgia. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but there was some noise in there with you. You were moving around. Yeah, don't touch the mic.
No, really, Georgia's on my mind. That's the most important thing to me right now.
Yeah. And that's where we all should be right now.
Absolutely.
I think it's a done deal, though. I think it's a done deal.
You're right. I hope you're right.
I really think it's a done deal because it's one thing I know for certain. I mean, that I'm feeling for certain. As far as what's going on right now, and I'm going to become a Negroid with this. Brothers ain't did shit. But them sisters,
amen, brother.
Stacey Abrams, Keisha
Lance,
and all them other sisters that have been in behind that movement in Georgia since Miss Abrams lost that election as the governor down there. She went straight to the streets to stop the disenfranchisement of the people that live in Georgia. She was making sure that if you got of color, that you got a right to vote. And then the Hispanic community, they have been going back after them. And then she did it quietly. She didn't have to get out there.
That was a quiet storm. Yeah, definitely.
She didn't get out there in front of them, and they did not know it was coming. And when the incumbent president even happened to mention her out of his name, it means something.
Yeah.
You understand? Because she got to his radar. You understand? Because otherwise, any person of color wouldn't mean anything. But he said out of his mouth, Stacey Abrams. You understand? And then I get so sick of the code words: radical left, socialist, communist. I get tired of all that. We need people power on this country taking care of the masses. For over 40 years since my boy Ronnie Reagan came in and cut everything out to only deal with the rich and the elite. I mean, y'all got to flip the script now. Y'all got to have an FDR moment up in here because y'all can't keep making all the money and leaving us hanging out there. There needs to be an FDR moment.
Yeah.
I just placed a link in the chat room. I think that's only going to the Facebook. But it may be going to all of them. I'm not really sure how that works. But we have the link in there. Ron has placed it in there, and I have, and Street News Now. Everybody's placing it in there. So if you'd like to join the discussion and be a part of the panel here, just click on that link, and it'll bring you into the green room. And if I like you, I'll bring you in.
Well, come on now.
Now, I will say one thing, Reggie. There is an organization called blackmenvote.org, and they've been very active in Georgia as well. So we can't discount the brothers. The sisters are doing it, but the brothers are right along there as well.
Yep, that's true.
I mean that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I'm with that. And as a woman, I agree with you saying that. But if we wasn't on the TV right now, I would say what I would say. But them sisters are the ones that's moving it.
Yeah.
The brothers are helping out because you got some brothers that's talking about, yeah, man, Trump is sending down the money. You know, the first thing you did, them brothers gonna say that. But these sisters have been talking about grassroots, the disenfranchisement of people of color and other minorities and their right to vote. And that's the grassroots. And brother, I ain't heard brother say nothing about that.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. And I think we all have to be vocal. Anybody that's feeling the pain, if you've been out of work for any length of time and you are off the unemployment roll for whatever reasons, whether you're in a state where the money ran out and they don't want to give you any more, whatever the situation is, I don't care who you are, you have got to feel the impact, even if you are in that elite group of income. You're feeling it because if you have a place of business, people are not coming in the way they used to, especially if you're in the restaurant or the service industry. Hell, here in Las Vegas, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and half a day on Sunday, the hotels and casinos are open. Who would have thought? The big celebration that they have here in Las Vegas every year for, New Year's, not happening. Same thing in New York, not happening.
Yeah.
Probably in every other major city in America, not happening.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is going to change a lot of things moving forward. How we work, where we work. A lot of people are going to be working from home, TFN. Schools. My granddaughter down in Texas still not back in school yet.
Yeah. But newsflash, this thing is not going to open up no time soon. Okay. The entertainment industry has already said last year that they're not considering doing anything on Broadway or any place else in the entertainment industry until the fall of 21-22. So this thing hasn't even begun to peak out as of yet. So we still got a long way to go. We still in trouble. We're still in trouble.
Not only that, they haven't gotten the vaccine out to the people yet. So under 3,000 people have been vaccinated so far?
Yep.
They claimed they were going to have 20,000 before the end of the year. They haven't even shipped out 20,000 yet.
I love that. I love that point that everybody's bringing out because, and then the rep cons, they talk about, we got to deal with the deregulation. So we under this deregulated movement right now, right? Mm-hmm. But now they crying, well, the government, we need y'all to help us. Now they crying at the same time. What do you want? Mm-hmm. Do you want to be deregulated or not? What is it? Mm-hmm. Because if we had the infrastructure set up, if we had a national infrastructure set up, this would all be taken care of. But the whatever this person is that is currently in the White House, you know, they were saying, well, let the states do it. Well, the states can't do anything without without the French girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they need the French girl. So when you don't have an infrastructure set up, it's gonna fail. Mm-hmm. It's gonna fail. It's gonna fail.
Everything this guy has put into play has not been good. Okay, fast track getting the vaccine out. Quite frankly, they needed more time to test it. Mm-hmm. They never got enough people in the beta mode to know all of the potential side effects. Granted, some of these companies have been working on a vaccine to deal with something like this for 10 years. Mm-hmm. But they haven't had it to the point where they could actually test it on humans. So they've rushed this out. What do you call it? The fast track?
Right.
Warp speed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
warp speed. They did warp speed. Let's get it out. Let's get it out. Let's get it out. We're going to get it out before the election. Didn't happen. Okay. So it's been out what? Has it been 2 weeks yet?
Yep. About
2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And only about 3,000 people have been vaccinated. So come on, that's not a good record to stand on.
But it's still in test mode.
Right. It is.
They keep saying this is the beta.
It
is a test. You know, they don't know all the people that are gonna drop dead from this thing yet.
Or what kind of side effects, short term, long term.
Well, they're waiting for the states to figure that out.
Yeah, that's right.
But here's the deal. Did you all expect this to go any better than it's going now? I mean, realistically, 4 years of a shit show. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Marco Rubio jumps to the front of the line in front of first responders. And he's a non-COVID believer. He didn't believe in it. So why do you need the vaccination if you don't believe in it, Marco?
Okay, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
You
want to be regulated or be regulated? What is it? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He's scared and he's chicken shit.
Right.
Bottom line.
And let me say the following. I'm going to cut you off. I'm sorry. Well, let me say the following. Is that from my observation of all this year, well, again, with the so-called president, so-called administration, the murder of George Floyd, I have never seen in my lifetime, probably since the 70s and 80s, a regalvanization of ourselves coming together as a people. We have to realize that we have to take care of us, first and foremost. And if we continue down that path, it's a great example for our children, our children's children, because I think we've lost our way. I think sometimes we get too assimilated with certain white folk, not all white folk, with certain white folk, we lose our way. If you live in a certain community where it's majority African American, you don't see we live any African American ownership of businesses. It's from people from outside of their neighborhoods coming to our neighborhoods to make money. And don't want to give anything back. Just take our money and go back to their own neighborhoods. We have to have a sense of pride, a sense of love and respect for ourselves. I've always said, it's a matter of being pro your own, not being anti anybody else. And if this had to be the wake-up call, unfortunately, to get us back on that track, then things happen for a reason. And I think that because we're living in a time right now where up is down, down is up, it's the class that I said before about Alice in Wonderland, was nonsense makes sense. We have to make sense and navigate how we can make sense of it for ourselves and for our future. That has to be the mission statement, because if not, we'll get lost again. We don't need that. And we don't need to put ourselves back in the time. We need to go forward into time and have more of a vision for ourselves involved.
Exactly. Look, let me do this before anybody else jump back in. If you are just now joining us, you are in the right place at the right time, because we are here on Street News Now, the last show of the year. And we got a special guest with us today. We're going to give the lady first accolades. Miss Laura Rice tuning in with us today. And then we have the legend, the creator of this network, Mr. Lee Michaels. We got the professor, Mr. Reggie Miles, and my brother, Mr. Boom Shakalaka, Mr. Chris Bass, and myself, Dr. Ron. And I tell y'all, we are venting and letting y'all know what's been happening. If you just woke up out of a nap since 2019, we're going to tell you about what the hell just happened, okay? Because it's been going on just like this, okay? You know, and I tell you, it's just so crazy. You know, everything that everybody is expressing is the truth, 100%, which is the exact opposite of what number 45 been doing, which has not been the truth. And, you know, and I just gonna say it like this, you know, why would you trust somebody that lied for 4 years that he got something good for you now?
All his life.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really?
It didn't start 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 6 years ago. This guy has been a untruth-telling son of a gun all his life.
But you know what?
Anybody in New York, they'll tell you.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm joking. I hope they don't never elect another black president too soon. Because if the aftermath is the incumbent president, I don't want no more black president. I don't want to see another black president. I don't want to see another one. If the result after his 8 years is what we had these last 4 years, keep the black president. Keep him.
They're already, you know, talking negative about the possibility that Joe Biden won't live long enough, or he might run for a second term, or he might not make it through the first term. So all of those paranoid racist SOBs are already scared to death that Kamala Harris will become the president of the United States. We're already dealing with that before it even happens.
Yep. And that's bullshit.
It is. It's hate and paranoia because they have believed what Donald Trump and other Republicans have been feeding them, which is nothing but a bunch of hate and fear. Hate and fear. And listen, some people are just weak-minded that they buy into that. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings.
That's why I hope some of them look and listen to us. Listen, I don't hate y'all. If you don't want to be by me, I don't want to be by you. As long as you stay on your side, we cool. Because I'm going to always stay on my side.
All right. Yeah.
I don't have to come over there to be with you. It just seems like you always have to come over here to be with me. Anytime one of us in anything at any time, we excel and we get somewhere, y'all want to come in there and get some of it and take it. That's all the time. The first thing that I'm going to advocate for, and I'm going to start it at the end of this year and go into the next year, we need ownership of our own media properties. Hats off. I'm clapping for you, Lee Michaels, because we need to have our own gatekeepers so we can disseminate our message to our people in our way all the time. We have to show them that we can be a CNN, an MSNBC. We can be a Fox News. We can be all of that, what you are. Just get out the way and let me do it.
Exactly.
Well, we're already doing it with our cell phones, quite frankly. I mean, you look at the young man who was accosted by that woman in the Arlo Hotel the other day in New York City. And that video was just released by the hotel that clearly showed her attacking him. With any luck, she'll go to jail. Oh, yeah. I'll send you the link right now if you like.
Cool.
Yeah. You know, the majority-owned media, you know, they have put that out, and that's wonderful. That's why I wish that a lot of times that we still had a taste of the fairness doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Because the fairness doctrine made sure that if you said one thing, you'd have to say the opposite of what you're saying. So every station always had to show two sides.
Right.
The way the media is running now is that people are being influenced by opinion. They are not. They are not getting
all commentary.
It's all commentary. So that fairness doctrine and some other things have to be revisited. The reason why Ronnie Reagan and all his boys they went and cut that out is because they wanted to be able to spew their agenda of hate. Again, I'm gonna say to you, if you can still look at it, look at that documentary on Ronnie Reagan. Check him out.
I agree.
That they laid out is what's happening right now. All Trump did is put he took off. I think he took off the let's. I think Ronnie Reagan said, "Let's make America again," and then the next one said, "Make America again." So it's still the same playbook where they use the same keywords and the code words that mean anti-black.
Right.
So we need to have our own communication to spew what our truths are about this, not to be in opposition to them. Let us go after the same advertisers and stuff like. Let us make our own money. Why you got to make all the money all the time? Why you got to do that? We can do this just as good as you can.
Better.
Better.
I think it's better.
And you know it. We can do this.
Right.
Just get out the way. But no, they got slick. They say, well, no, we got to make this 1996 Telecommunications Act. Well, we got to drop in this thing called deregulation. Well, none of you all knew what was going on, what they had laid out in that.
Yeah, it was never publicly explained, what was going on, the changes of the rules and regulations as it relates to broadcasts in America. Ownership changes, the fact that radio stations do not have to do public service announcements, PSAs. They don't have to do them anymore. They don't have to do news. They don't have to have public affairs programming. They don't have to do anything. But if you petition to the Federal Communications Commission and say, hey, I don't like what my local radio station is not doing, then you can bring real havoc to these local broadcasters. And most of them are not local anymore. Most of them are national because companies like iHeartMedia /iHeartRadio own 7 or 8 stations in all of the top 100 cities in America. So they are now national and international to some degree. So, but they didn't tell you, John Q. Public, that if you complain to the commission, that they will then go to the broadcaster and perhaps say, hey, you're not serving your community, and we're getting a lot of complaints. People want
a hearing. You have to deal with that hearing.
That's right.
But they got slick. They went on and dropped it on a card and made it every 8 years. But prior to that, it was every 3 years.
Right.
That licenses could be challenged.
That's right.
Now we got to do some interpretation, because George said, "Who is Ronnie Reagan?"
Okay. President Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
What was he? Number 40? What was he? 40? But he was Ronald Reagan was the 40th president of the United States, and he brought in all of this agenda that you are seeing now. This is what he laid out. He dealt with exactly to the fears of the Caucasian people. He had convinced them that any gains for us would be something against them.
Right.
Now, Chris, the same person, George wants to know if you're gonna light that damn cigar.
Now, did he actually light that damn cigar, or
no? He just said, he said, "Are you gonna light that cigar?" I said, "Damn."
Okay, I want to make sure. I want to make sure I got the shit right. All right. No, I'm not gonna light that damn cigar. All right.
Well, I've been drinking.
Not until the baby is born.
Now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Thank you.
I'm gonna put the right adjectives in there now. Okay.
You don't have to do that. But I know all y'all. I want to make sure that your ass said it. I want to make sure you're that right.
But he did ask about the cigar. Okay.
Okay. No, I'm going to save it until my grandbaby is born. Then I'll light it.
Okay.
You might need a new one because you'll wear that bad boy out.
Right.
I got a few wrapped up, so I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. He also said you look like Suge Knight. Okay, with that cigar. Okay, so
I don't like that. Okay, all right. God damn it, man. He happens to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like Suge goddamn Knight. Okay. Happy New Year, motherfucker. All right, so
Wow.
Ain't no wow. I mean, who was compared to Suge Knight? I mean, no offense. Would you want to compare to Suge Knight? I don't think so.
I don't think so. No.
Maybe on his bank account, maybe.
Okay, all right. Don't clean up. Don't clean up, Lee.
Maybe. I said maybe.
Yeah, but going back real quick to what Reggie was saying on a serious note about, for example, news. Having done news myself, news used to be about 5 minutes and less, complete with information, sports and weather. You take a break if you're lucky for a commercial,
right?
About 60 seconds, and then you're out of there at the end. Nowadays, I hear on the radio, I do listen to the rest of the radio. Good evening. This is Chris Bass with news. A person was killed on the South Side. He was 27 years old. This news brought to you by Arm & Hammer. It's not even a couple of stories. It's right to the story, or right to the spot, and then they're out of there.
Yeah.
Because of the love of money. Go back to OJ. Always sought for anything. For the love of money. If we can find a way to make the spot breaks longer to get more advertising time, we'll cut everything. We'll cut the songs down. We'll cut the news. As long as we're able to get more spots in rotation. And that has been a detriment.
I've noticed that the songs that they're sending out to radio right now, because I just started another station, I'm going, damn, these songs are short. They're like 2.5, 3 minutes, 3:05. And the reason is they were up to 4 or 5 minutes there for years, and in some cases longer. But now they're shortening them. It's going back to like the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Because the radio stations are playing 18 minutes of commercials, even on the music stations. And the talk stations are playing 28 minutes. So there's no room for a 4 or 5 minute song. So when you're doing, I listened to a radio station, happens to be in Chicago just the other day, and the stop set, the commercial break was 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
Now, in my heyday, programming in Chicago, WBMX have 8 units, 8 commercials per hour. Not 8 minutes necessarily. It could have been 8 30 seconds. Okay, it was based on the unit itself. And I mean, at the worst, it was 12. I used to go back and forth with Marv Dyson back in the day over the number of commercials per hour. Now they're playing more commercials in one break than what I played in a whole hour.
They call that less is more.
That's bullshit. It's called running your audience away.
They call that less is more. Because in 6 minutes, right? If you take, and the commercials now, and I know you know this, Lee, I ain't telling you nothing you don't know. Commercials now are 5, 10, 15 and 20 seconds. They even make a name mention a commercial. You understand?
Right. But if your commercial break, I don't care how long the commercial is, if it's 7 or 8 minutes long, guess what? I could program in any city in America. Give me 4 months. 1 month to get it straight. The other 3 months in the middle of a rating period, and I will kick your ass if you're sitting there playing all those goddamn commercials.
Yeah.
Because people are sick and tired.
Music nowadays is not the same as music that it used to be either. Now, how many times you gonna say, talk about WAPs and everything in a music cycle? Okay, come on now, really. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, how many times can you say, how long can you say bitches and hoes in a 15-minute song?
Hold on, Dr. Ron.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut you off with
What's a WAP? Yeah, what's a WAP?
I deferred this question to the only female on the line. What's a WAP?
You tell me. You tell me. No, yeah, you said it, Dr. Ron.
Look, it's called wet ass pussy, goddamn it.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what that means.
Oh, man, I had no idea.
Wait a minute.
2020.
Here, speak. No
Look,
evil.
No evil.
The hit song of 2020. Now, you want to talk about the best song of 2020?
Yeah.
There it is. Whoops, there it is.
Yeah, that's a shame, but that's how low we've gone.
Yeah.
and
There's
that too. That's too is due to the market. C. Edwin Baker. He was a great researcher out of the University of Pennsylvania, and I wanted to talk to him. And before I could get to talk to him, he passed away. But he wrote a book called Media and the Market. And if the market says, and since this new radio thing is saying that the marketplace is what it is. If the market says that all we want to hear is sex and violence, then that's all the owners of the radio stations are going to play. Songs that deal with sex and violence.
Yep.
It's the marketplace theory. So until we can get back control of the markets, or we can get back control of the stations to take it away from them, because all they're interested in is that beautiful woman that's green from France called Monet.
Amen.
And the more, I remember the Mays brothers. The Mays brothers wrote. They wrote an op-ed. It's on one of my computer drives somewhere. I'm trying to find it, and they said we don't give a blank about the public interest or none of that stuff. They said the only thing we're trying to do is get the most people together for our advertising.
That's it. And they had to take that position.
That's right.
In all honesty and fairness.
That's right.
Because they paid too damn much for the radio station.
That's right.
They created their own nightmare by getting in a bidding war. And every broadcaster that still exists is sitting there sucking wind right now because they paid too much. And I told them, I said it to everybody that I worked for at that time, don't buy that station for $300 million, $400+ million, $250 million. You can't make it work.
How you gonna pay for it? Yeah.
I mean, even if you hit the lottery and you got all this money, first of all, if you got that kind of cash, you don't need to buy no damn radio station.
Exactly.
You're going to live your life. But if you got to go out and do public offerings, do your IPO and borrow money from all the major banks, and I tell you what, y'all think I'm crazy? And I'm not intoxicated, okay? And I'm not crazy. I'm going to tell you the truth. Go find a radio station you want to buy and go to any major bank in America and see if they will give you a loan. Even if you got an 800 credit score, okay? I don't care. They don't care. If you don't have $25, $30 million to put down, they won't even take your phone call. Okay? Now, the cost of radio stations is going down because they're sucking wind right now. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. But that is the problem. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, Citibank, all those big boys are sitting there holding some bad paper. Just like Donald Trump owes $421 million, and those notes are coming due. And that's all what we know about.
Right.
We don't know about those other loans that he has out there that might be wrapped up into whatever. But see, here's the thing. When those balloons happen, you got to have that money. And some of these banks will roll with you a little bit longer, say, well, okay, as opposed to us flushing the toilet and take this property back that we can't sell at a profit, we'll let you hang out there a little bit longer, but you're going to have to start paying us more interest. Which means the principal is still going to be there. You still owe us $400 million, but you're going to have to start paying some higher interest rates, 100% interest. Every payment you make is just going to be paying down the interest. So that's crazy, man. Why would you want to put yourself in that situation? I don't have an MBA, and I don't think I need one to know that that's a bad freaking deal.
But the good thing about all of it, you know, in 2020 as well, everybody has discovered that there is a place on the internet for them to do what they do. You know, live entertainers, whether it be music DJs, whether it be anybody in the entertainment industry, they have all came over to the internet and established a home for the time being.
That's true.
You know, so that's a good thing. Look at us. Nobody will hire all of us together on a job.
I don't want a job. Let's turn them down. No.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Dr. Ron. But who owns the ISP?
Yeah, same people.
You understand? Who owns the ISP? So
I got you.
All that is, we still, you know, like the monkey on the chain with the organ grinder. You understand? You know, as long as he's cranking that thing, we jumping around. And he giving us all the freedom that we want as long as we got that collar around our neck. We have enough scientists. We have some great scientists to weigh in. Well, why we ain't got our own internet or information superhighway or our own ISP to do what we do, to not always be subject to those gatekeepers. One of my former colleagues, man, at Howard University, you know, Dr. Henry Lowe, I mean, he sat there. I was working on a project with him, and he just sat there and talked to me, and I was like, because he was talking about another band of waves in the atmosphere that we don't even know about. That we ain't got even the people, the resources, the capital to get to start our own thing.
But what's ridiculous is our internet runs so slow. You go to other countries like South Korea, fast, and they don't even have to pay for it. The government takes care of most of it, not all of it, but you know. That's because they, you know, then they ain't got no sex sites, they ain't got nothing. Everything that you got on them sites in Korea is straight up for the mind.
Mean and clean.
But wait a minute. So you all know that Pornhub just scrubbed more than about 80% of its content, right?
No.
Pornhub?
Never heard of them. Yeah.
I seriously doubt that, but okay.
So they scrubbed all their content for what?
80%. Well, what they found out is that several young women have been trafficked through Pornhub. They've accepted content that they shouldn't have. And what happened is the credit card providers got sick and tired of saying, Pornhub, you've got to vet your videos. Like, you've got to vet these producers and find out if these kids are underage. One woman actually found her daughter in over 50 videos. She had run away from home. They couldn't find her, but there she was on Pornhub. Wow. It's very scary. So at that point, when Pornhub wouldn't fix its problem with underage children and actually showing videos of people who had not given consent, the credit card company said, well, if you don't do something about it, we will. We won't accept payments anymore. So at that point, Pornhub has scrubbed 80% of its 80%. Content. Wow. It's about 80%. However, there's still a lot there. For research purposes, I wouldn't check.
How can they police research? How can they verify the age of these performers?
I mean, you have to have releases. And the reality is you have releases and they just have to be verified. And the reality is there will always be somebody who will get through a loophole. There will always be some child that's taken advantage of that will show up. But if you have these releases and you present them, you are liable. You are absolutely liable. So, but here we are making America great again still. I mean, come on, 4 years, and that's still your slogan. So you haven't made America great.
Wait a minute. That slogan has been going on over 40 since Ronnie Reagan.
Right. I got you on that. But if you think about it, it's a horrible slogan for an incumbent to use trying to go into a second term because you didn't do it the first one.
That ignited his base. See, because when you make America great again, you eliminate anything for us.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's what that means. That's exactly what that means. You cannot walk up to any person that believes deeply in making America great again and say anything to them about the John Lewis Voting Rights Act.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But I mean, if you're a logically thinking person, if you're still touting that we're going to make America great again, and you think about 4 years that fool has had, and you're still using the same slogan, it's ridiculous.
It is.
It's not logical.
What's crazy and scary is there are people who believe that he has made America great again.
Correct. Right.
And they're hardcore Trumpsters, and you can't convince them of anything else. And I think even if this guy, once he's out of office and he is prosecuted, and found guilty, and he goes to jail, I think they're going to still believe that this guy was great. And what is it? The Nielsen, was it Nielsen? No, not Nielsen. The other rating system made him the most admired man in America.
Jesus.
Not
wasn't Pew, was it?
No, not Pew. The other one, the other big one.
Nielsen, Pew, Gallup.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Gallup.
Yeah.
Gallup poll. Yeah.
Most admired man in America. 12 years in a row was Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy is feeling himself today because he's upstaged Barack Obama on something that means something to him.
Finally.
So I come to the conclusion as a thinking man that I will never again vote for an actor or a reality TV star.
No, I've never voted for one either.
I
didn't vote for Ronald Reagan.
I mean, I wouldn't even. Or let me take that back. I would even consider them a qualified candidate to run this country, to have any knowledge of what governance is. Because what we are seeing is a lack of governance from this whatever this man was, this reality star that happened to be elected president due to the fact of the racism that he played to. His first card, he was playing cards. He said, "Let me go and play this." When he dropped down his first trump, it was Barack Obama is not an American. That was his first trump.
Yeah, that was it.
Movement. And so all of this is what's been going on, has been nothing but pure it's against everything that black people went for. So the one law or one thing that I'm gonna argue about it should not be the John Lewis Act. It should be the John Lewis's voting rights law.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of the acts.
Law. We're never to be questioned about whether we should have the right to vote.
Period.
Our ancestors paid for that.
Right.
That by building this country. So there's no more act.
I agree.
Law.
That bothers me every day. All right, before we get out of here, I want to ask each and every one of you to we did this show primarily just to kind of put a wrap on 2020. Let me start with you, Professor. What do you hope for in 2021, and what are you going to do to make your life and the life of others better?
The first thing that I want to do is I want to go back into the media ownership limits in the FCC. Mm-hmm. I only believe that the only way that we can talk to one another is by us having the opportunity to own more terrestrial radio stations and television stations along with our internet pieces as well. I do not believe that we can talk to one another without having a central communication that we are owning, running, and dealing with ourselves. We need a cable network. We need all these things just so we could have our own side of stuff. Not that we have to have the CNN, the Fox, whatever side they have, I want to have balance. So the first thing that I'm doing is getting back with my colleagues that were media ownership proponents, and I'm speaking with them. There are Candy Stovall. There are a bunch of people that are now in the works trying to get the FCC to reevaluate ownership limits, who owns what, and getting more ownership to minorities and female.
Well, would you please get me involved in that, because I have the same passion. And
yes,
it's something that's been driving me. I've lost over $500,000 of my own money, not borrowed money, money that I earned, trying to buy radio stations without no closure. So it's personal to me, and I want to leave something that we can all have access to before I leave this planet.
Brother Lee, you got a brother out there that's a professor out there that's at the University of Southern California. His name is Mark Lloyd. One of the baddest boys I've ever witnessed. I sat and listened to this dude like 4 hours in a meeting. Mark Lloyd, baddest dude. When he laid out to me how Law 256 that Curtis Collins laid out that was protecting us, how my brother from Chicago flipped it and sold it out. Oh man, I was done. But Mark Lloyd, he wrote a book called What's Wrong with Communications and How to Fix It. He wrote the book. Mark Lloyd.
I like the title already. What's wrong? And then you always come back with a solution. So that's good stuff. I'm gonna look him up. Let's go to Chris Bass.
I'm on the same page as my brothers just said, with Professor and, of course, with the legend. We need to create content for our people, period, first and foremost. This is the time to do it. I said before, in 2020, we're about to leave and go into the next year. This has been the reset for all of us, whether it's personal or professional or blurring in the middle somewhere, gray matter. It's about getting ourselves together and getting on one accord. This should be the ultimate sacrifice that we should all make. Myself coming into the embracing of being a grandfather, legacy is more than key for all of us involved. No matter grandfather, grandparent or not, legacy is vital. We need to create something to pass down to our children, our children's children. This is now. It's not too late. The time is now. So I'm on board with anybody who honestly, not bullshitting, honestly wants to create content to pass on to our next generation and the generation afterwards.
Amen. Dr. Ron.
Well, everything that has been spoken up to this time going forward, I just want to echo the fact that the work is not finished yet. It's only just beginning. Going forward in 21, we still got to roll up our sleeves and keep working and keep trying to accomplish what's important to everybody of color. Okay. We've got many people that have lost their life for many generations before us that we're standing on their backs right now. And just recently, as John Lewis and many other people that are lost in 2020, that we're standing on their legacy now. They did all they could do. They did what they were meant to accomplish, but the work is not over yet. And I don't want to see any of us drop the ball by saying, okay, we didn't make it. No, we have not. Okay. We still got a long way to go. And I started out going into 21 already by writing letters and contacting people to let them know that, hey, you know, this is something that we need to be not go to sleep on. Okay. Yes, we got a pandemic going on in the world, but guess what? We still got, you know, injustice in the world towards people of color. So let's not go to sleep on any of it. We need the platforms, yes. But once we get the platforms, we got to have something of substance to say. So, and with the rest of my time, I just want everybody to think about all of the loved ones that we have lost in the last year, all of the celebrities, all the people that we have, looked up to, that were there, that gave their best and their all for us throughout their lives, to be people that we know of. And don't forget about them. Don't forget about them. Keep them in your hearts. Keep them alive in your hearts. Celebrate them. But please don't stop working. Let's get busy. Let's keep on being busy. Let's keep going. We can't give it up.
Amen. And Laura, this is your first time joining the Wild Bunch here. And I want to thank you for coming in. And I'll let you give your opinion about, what you would like to see changed in America, and what are you going to do, or what are you doing to make that happen?
Sure. So thank you all for having me. I'm glad to bring some estrogen to the crew tonight. A little estrogen. What I'm wishing for everyone is abundance, all of us, whether it be spiritual health, wealth, and an abundance of learning. And with that, part of what I'd like to leave to my nieces and nephews is my work after law school in intellectual property and estate law, specifically for entertainers and artists, helping contracts, making sure their children and their children's children can benefit from their intellectual property, from their creative production. It's so important. You look at Spotify, you look at all of these platforms, and artists are barely making any money from streaming services. And it came to light this year during the pandemic. So many of them weren't on tours. So many of them weren't releasing albums. So many of them were relying on what they thought was some pot of gold through streaming, and it hasn't happened, and it's getting worse. So again, law school for me in 2022, looking forward to that, being a conduit for entertainers and artists and protecting them and their intellectual property and their legacies for future generations. Excellent.
Very good. Thank you again, Laura. That's very profound and very important, the message that you're trying to leave us with. I want to fight and keep fighting for justice, fairness, and opportunity. I've been doing that most of my life because it just comes natural. I just think that's the right thing to do. I believe that Black lives matter, and we shouldn't stop pushing that point. And anybody that wants to try to twist that and make it something that it isn't, or turn it negative, shame on you. And you should be feeling the pain and racism and the pain and suffering and the lives that are lost that we're going through with this pandemic. Mm-hmm. And how you could hate somebody because of the color of their skin. And again, people of color are dying at a higher rate from this virus, and it's very clear as to why. Mm-hmm. Our medical system is not fair. Mm-hmm. We can't afford it. You can't afford to be alive. It's so expensive to get health care. And when you can afford it, it's not the best. Mm-hmm. You got to wait and wait for somebody to say, okay, you can go see this doctor, but you can't go see that one. No, you can't. You don't have a choice because you're not paying for it. You don't have enough money to have access to the better doctors. That's not fair. People need help right now because of this pandemic. The only place that we can go to get relief is our government. Our government. The people that we hired by voting for them. They're supposed to be representing everyone, and they're not. They're playing politics in D.C. Half of them could give a damn, except keep their position. And we've talked about it on the show numerous times about term limits. They are in place already. Vote these deadbeats out. Get these people to understand that if you don't do what you're supposed to do and represent all of the people that voted you in or that you represented, even the people that didn't vote for you, if a person came into your office or called your office and you're a congressional member and said, hey, I've got a problem. This is what's going on in my neighborhood, in the district that you represent, and I need you to take care of this. And they turn their back on you, remember them. Mm-hmm. Remember them the next time they come up for to be reelected. Don't vote for them. Simple. Very simple. The same thing I've been saying for the last 6 or 8 years. No, 12 years. Mitch McConnell is not doing a good job for all the people in America. He's sucking up to the big boys. Mm-hmm. He's playing politics with our lives, and he could give a damn. People like him should never be a public servant. These guys work for us. Let's cut the politics out. Let's take out the Democrats. Let's take out the Republicans and the independents. At the end of the day, they're there to serve all of us, and they're not doing that. They can turn a blind eye to things that they don't want to support. And how the Senate can sit there and not approve a $2,000 payout. $2,000. That should have been 6 months ago, and it should have been several checks after that. We shouldn't be sitting here waiting for any amount of money when we didn't create this problem. We can't go back to work. People are dying at 3,000 a day, almost 200,000 a day getting infected. This is real bullshit. In America, we got to stand up and hold these people accountable. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Not just 2021. If I make it through 2021, they're going to have to deal with a raving fool because it's got to stop. Get on the phone, send emails, text messages to your representatives, your governor, your mayor, your Boy Scout leader, every damn body. Get on it. Bring some justice and fairness to make these people that we put in place, hold them accountable. With that, let's all say goodbye to 2020. Hello, 21. Hello to the new administration. Hello to a new beginning. Let's put this bad dream behind us. And Donald Trump, I'm going to pray for you because you got the devil in you, boy.
Amen.
Straight up.
Amen. Amen.
So thank you, guys. I love you.
Wait a minute. Did Laura just turn up a bottle?
That's my kind of woman. That's my kind of woman. That's my kind of woman.
Hey. Back in the hood, we call that pulling it from the neck.
Yeah. Hey, man. I love y'all. I'm glad y'all can do it.
Wow.
Love y'all. See y'all on the other side.
I won't talk to y'all no more this year. I'll talk to you next year.
There you go.
Happy New Year.
You got me. You beat me. I was going to get that, man. Tomorrow it'll be them New Year's jokes. I love those New Year's. And I ain't seen you since last year. All right.
Yeah.
And don't call me at 6 a.m.
Hey man, I'll still be up from tonight.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna dive in on that one. Man, I'll see you next year, man. Be cool.
Yeah.
SNN Street News Now.